This week, we're back on the Bronco. Y'all know we traded the Fairlane for the Bronco, and I've been driving it for the past couple of days. It's been pretty good overall. Ride quality is not quite there. I can't stand the steps. Steps have got to go. Basically, most everything that I don't like about it is cosmetic. Overall, I'm extremely ecstatic with the vehicle. But we did develop a problem last night, which being a 200,000 mile vehicle, you're gonna have issues. So yesterday we went to a friend of mine's house and built a full exhaust on his 1955 Hudson Hornet. Super cool car. I might drop a picture right here of it. I'll give you the backstory on it. It was a original 5,800 mile car. I didn't film at his house because it's his house and it was a paid job, so I didn't want to film and do any of that. But it was a super clean car. 5,800 mile original miles. Car was kept in the side of the shop. He said it had a big thick layer of barn dust on it. He bought it off Bring a Trailer, stupid cheap. Brought it home. He cleaned it, looked at the motor. Motor had been locked up because it had been sitting for so long. That's the only issue with the whole car, was the motor was locked up. So he loves engines. He's got a whole room dedicated in his shop just for built really nice engines. And he's got a whole bunch of really collectible engines and all kinds of stuff. But he went through there and found a perfectly restored 327 that he did about 10 years ago that's been sitting on the shelf. He grabbed that, he put it in the Hudson and needed to build a full exhaust for it. So I went over there and helped him knock that out. Well, on our way home from the drive, we started to have a check engine light blink. And I started to notice a little bit of lagging. Felt like fuel pressure. I pulled into an O'Reilly's. I didn't know if this was OBD1 or OBD2. Being in 94, we found out when we got there, it's OBD1. You can jump the pin with a paper clip. Jump the pin, and then you count how many times your light blinks, and then you reference those numbers over to a chart, figure out what the chart's saying. And we did say that we were running lean. So like I thought we were having an issue of it being fuel pressure, we did also have it showing the fact that it was running lean. We went ahead and picked up a new fuel pump to put in it. So we're gonna put that in it real fast. And then once we get done with the fuel pump, I've got a whole bunch of cosmetic stuff and everything to get taken care of on here. And whenever I said like the ride wasn't quite right, these are the shocks that are on it. I mean, they're completely rusty. And I noticed like if I come to a stop at a stop sign, it'll kind of bounce for a split second, but it's nothing crazy. So I'm wondering if we just put a fresh set of shocks on it, if it'll help with the ride quality. Besides that, I mean, I know it's going to be a four-wheel drive vehicle and it's going to ride rough. I was hoping to get that last little bit to make it ride stock. But first order of business is change these taillights, because that's the most important thing that happens. And yes, I do have a fuel pump set up, because wouldn't you know, this would only happen whenever you have a full tank of gas. I'm going to change the taillights real quick. I bought a set of OEM taillights for it. We're going to put those in, and then let's get the gas pumped out of it, and we'll drop the tank and change the fuel pump. If you've ever changed the taillights on this body style of truck or changed the bulb, these are the simplest things to work on. It's literally 4 Phillips head screws and you're done. Well, I didn't do the math until just a second ago. Already filled one can up. I've got the other one. Let's see if y'all can see the gas coming out of there. I got the other one running. Got the little pump going there, going down to a battery. It holds 32 gallons, and it had a full tank. So we're only gonna get 10 gallons out of it because that's all the cans that I have here today. So at least it's 10 gallons less than it was. Still gonna be heavy, still gonna be a pain, but that sucks. Oh well, Once this can is full, I'll get underneath there and start working on pulling the tank out. So now that I'm underneath here, I'm gonna reach up here and unplug these two fuel rails right here. I'm kind of showing you blind if y'all can see it. But what I need to document is the right side, me laying on my back looking up, the right side is the blue line, the left side is the black line. So I've already unplugged the electronic fuel pump. Now I just need to pop those two lines off, and then there's 8 bolts. 4 on this side, 4 on the other side. The tank is still half full. I turned the key in the ignition to see what the level read, and it read half. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I'll set y'all up so I can get the tank dropped. So that way, whenever it falls on the ground and all the gas spills out, y'all get to see. Well, I knew that gas tank was big, but holy crap, I didn't know it was that big. So now I just need to pop this ring off and we'll pull the fuel pump out. Let me grab a hammer and a flathead and we'll start working on it. That's now in the tank. Oh, and it couldn't go straight, could it? It's too deep. I can't reach it. Got it. All right, so now I just got to figure out how all of this goes. Decided to put it that way so it clears everything. I couldn't use the old one as a reference because it broke off down into the tank. But socks on, so I'll set that aside. I've got to get wire cutters real quick because we got to cut this black and red wire because we're gonna have to reattach those. And we need to pull these 2 little tiny bolts off, and we can slide the old pump out, slide the new pump in. All right, so fuel pump is now done. Just got to find the right O-ring. Now we can start fishing this all back in. I'm gonna say that's fuel pump reinstalled. So I just pulled the fuel filter out and replaced it. Look at that, it's black. So that wasn't doing us any good. So now we got a new fuel filter, new fuel pump, and the fuel tank looked great on the inside. So I'm not concerned with that. Definitely think that fuel filter was a lot to do with it. Now I've got a brand new O2 sensor because whenever I was underneath the truck the other day looking at everything, it looked like it had never been replaced ever. So I got a new one to put in. So I'll slap that in real quick and then we'll fire it up, see how it does. So now let's cycle the key a couple of times. We know there's gonna be air in the system. Fired right up. Won't know until we put a load on it and drive it down the road. It's starting easier than it ever has. So I'm gonna say we did it a lot of good. I won't know until we test drive it, but before we go test drive it, let's tackle some of the other stuff on this thing. All right, so I went ahead and knocked out the rear shocks. I mean, they're just shocks. I figured y'all didn't want to watch that. Then we ran into a road bump, speed bump, snagging the road, however you want to say it. So this Bronco is the dual shock option. As you can see, you got two front shocks. Whenever you order shocks from Rough Country, whenever you do like a 6-inch lift or whatever, it says to order two front shocks. So you just order a second front shock. So I didn't do the due diligence and the research. I just went ahead and ordered shocks and bought two of the same fronts. Well, whenever they showed up, it came with two of that back one. They're not the same length. Fronts are longer, which you can see that one ends here and that one ends way down there. So they are two different lengths. Okay, that's fine. I'll return the one and ran to the store, matched it up with one that was in the box right there. The one that I opened, part number, everything, good to go, cool. Bought two of them, brought it back. I knocked out the other side just so I can get a feel for it, so that way we can do this side together. It showed up. The front shock is labeled completely incorrectly. It is not the right shock whatsoever, and it's like down to here. So what sucks is for the video, it's gonna end with me having one rusty shock on the front of it, because I'm not gonna leave the shock hole open. So in the end, whenever you see it and it's got one rusty shock, just know it's gonna be fixed tomorrow. But anyway, so let's dig forward. So I'm gonna replace the front shocks, whatever. But we're also gonna install a 2-inch level, this little aluminum block right here, and it goes right here below the spring. This is twin I-beam, so when you do that, your front tires will kind of kick and pinch towards the bottom. But I noticed whenever I was doing my tire rotation when we first got the truck, that it was actually starting to wear the inside tread of the tires where they were already kind of kicked out towards the bottom. So I put a jack underneath it at 2 inches and it straightened it up. So it should, with the level, instead of it being pinched in, it should be sitting flat. Which in the video, you're not going to see it immediately, because whenever I get it all done and set it on the ground, it's still twin I-beam, so it's going to set down with the tires like this, and then I've got to back up and pull forward and everything to get it all to square back up. So anyway, let's move forward. Let's start taking all this apart. I've already got this shock right here ready to come out. This one's unbolted from the top. So now I just have to undo that nut right here in the center and pull the spring retainer off the top, which I'll undo that, lower it down, then take the spring retainer off. And then we can pull the spring out, put the block in, and then do reassembly. And it's pretty straightforward. It's honestly pretty simple stuff. I've already got the other side done. The only thing I don't have done on the other side is I took the sway bar off. So whenever I'm done, I'll have to come back, slide the bolt and the sway bar on both sides and tighten it all up, and then it's done. So I'm gonna go ahead and start working on all this. There's the nut. There's the spring retainer. So now, clean that off a little bit. Stick this bolt on here. That's on now. Set that on there. It's got a notch. You put the notch towards the sway bar. just like that. And it's going back together. Now the bottom bolt. Now on the back side, it doesn't tell you to do this, but I did it anyway. I just cut 2 little pieces of pipe, went and got new bolts, and extended the rear shock, because out of the 2, it's kind of the shorter one. So I made sure that it's still got the same amount of travel. I just made 2 little spacers that are the same size as our leveling kit, so everything's gonna stay the same. And I'll just unbolt this, rebolt it, put our shock in, and we can put the sway bar on, put it back on its tires. Now it's time to get rid of the number one thing that's been driving me nuts on this thing, which is this step on here. Old junky steps, gone. Now, to install the proper old school step for an old school rig. If you're gonna have an old Bronco or an old pickup truck, I can't see nothing over there. These old 90s CARR brand steps, these are the way to go. And there's already pre-existing holes where it looks like at some point in the past somebody's had a set of these on here. There we go. Now that looks way more proper on there. I like the little bit smaller ones. I picked these up used. I was more so searching for the bigger ones for this because everybody's climbing in the back seat. My wife's still putting the baby in the back. My daughter's climbing in the back. So I wanted a little bit bigger step because you're reaching to the back as well, not just going to the front. If you're just going to the front, you just need one little step. It's like half the size. But since you're going forward and backwards from this pivot point, I sprung for the little bit bigger one. To finish up today, and I wasn't gonna stress about it if I didn't have time, but it looks like I've got just enough time. I'm gonna change out my third brake light. I ordered it with all the other stuff. I just wasn't worried right this moment, unless I had enough time to mess with it. Let me double check that it works. All right, we got dome light, and we'll test brake light. We're getting everything ready right now, swapping it all back from the dually because last night we had to switch to the dually last minute whenever we noticed that it was giving us issues. So we're swapping everything back into here. We're gonna go take it on a road test. By road test, I mean I'm gonna drive it home and then I'm gonna see what happens over the next couple of days. But I'll give y'all an update and show y'all like how it's coming. But I'll give y'all another little update as well. And here is our new little baby. What do you think?
I like her.
You like her? We're gonna keep her? All right. So the past couple of days that we've you know, we've had the baby. We've gotten to use the Bronco and had a lot of fun with it, and I don't regret my trade one bit. I'm absolutely stoked with it. It's been amazing, an awesome family vehicle, and I can't wait till we get the second family vehicle on the road also, so we can continue making the memories. We'll have the 4x4 daily driver and the weekend cruiser station wagon. We'll go from there. I mean, I'm sure we'll have a lot more stuff go on along the way. But now let's get this thing out on the road and road test it and see how the new fuel pump and fuel filter and O2 sensor did for us. Well, I'm on lunch break on the following day. I wanted to drive it to work and everything because the computer system is still like relearning that from replacing the fuel stuff and the O2 sensor and all that stuff. But it is driving night and day different. Like, it is a whole different vehicle. I absolutely love it. I was happy with it before, but I did not realize how much of an issue we were actually dealing with the fuel pump. But it is a night and day difference. It drives fantastic. It is an absolute great vehicle, and I appreciate y'all watching. See you next week.